Hey, it's Gina from Scoubi Club. Check us out at scoubiclub.com to find more tutorials, resources, kits, and our monthly subscription of Scoubi Lanyard supplies. This is a tutorial about this rocket ship lanyard. This is the simplest one because it basically just builds on the box stitch. For this project, you'll need about 6 feet of one color of Scoubi. For this one, I'm using this silver, and the long strand is what's going to show on the sides here. You will also need 5 other strands. Each one should be about 3 feet in length. I'm using patriotic colors because this is a 4th of July project. And as usual, I am using rexlace. So let's get into it. To start, you will need to do a box stitch. If you need a more detailed description of the box stitch, I do have a tutorial here. To start, you'll do your first color for this project. It is red, and find the center of the red strand, drape it over your pointer finger as shown. The next step is to take the tail that's behind and just flip it over. So you should have 2 loops. Next, you'll take your long strand, in this case the silver one that's 6 feet long, and just thread it under both of the loops. And you want to line it up so the middle of the silver strand is under the 2 loops, making kind of like an H shape. Starting with the left hand tail, you'll feed it over the first loop and under the second one and pull that, taking out any twisties or weird stuff. Next, you'll take the right tail, and I'm kind of holding it here, and go over the first loop under the second, kind of making a Z shape. And then you want to take your twisties out and gently remove your finger and take one strand of each color in each hand and gently pull until you see a checkerboard pattern form. Let's pause and add the lanyard hook so to give you more to hold on to. So you want to flip your checkerboard shape over and find the red loop on the bottom. Open up your lanyard hook and just slip it under that red loop you made. If you would like to, there is also a silver loop under there if that makes it more stable for you. So now let's do the stitch. So turn it over so the checkerboard pattern is facing you. And then you will flip the 2 red loops. You can also start with silver, it really doesn't matter. And then because the tail on the right is facing us, we start on the right, go over the first loop and under the second, then take the left tail, go over the first and under the second loop. And gently pull until you see the checkerboard pattern again. So again, this is in our tutorial, and you see how the stitches are starting to make the tip of the rocket. So you'll want to make about 5 to 7 box stitches. When you are ready to add the white strand, make 2 loops, and from this point we're always going to start with the long one, the silver one. And I'm going to thread the red in for my first part of the stitch. Add the white strand by sliding it into the loops across the checkerboard. Just lay it down there in the middle and find the center so that the middle of the white strand is over the checkerboard. From here, we'll take the white one that's away from us and go over under the white one that is close to us and go over under the silver loops, and then move the red one that is away from us over that first loop and under the second one. So from here, we're going to again tighten it to get a new checkerboard pattern that looks like this. And so you'll see, just like in our pattern, we now have a red, white, white, red pattern established. So you'll want to do about 5 to 7 of these stitches, and we will do an example of that. Start by making your 2 silver loops, and then we're going to start on the right and go over under, then over under with the white, over under with the next white, and then over under with the last red, and again tighten that until you see a checkerboard pattern. I would do about 5 to 7 of this stitch. So here I've done about 5 of the stitches with the red and white, so you can see how the top of the rocket is starting to come together. So the next color in our pattern is the light blue. So we're just going to lay that across the white stitches in the pattern. And honestly, the most challenging thing is holding everything together on the first couple stitches. And then do your silver loops. There's one, and then you need the other one going the other direction. Now you're going to weave in your short strands. I'm going to start with the upper left red, and our new pattern is red, white, blue, blue, white, red. We will show an example of this stitch. It's just like the previous one. The hardest part is figuring out how to keep everything organized and hold the project comfortably for you, which may be different than what I'm doing. This is the last time we will show the stitch a second time, because the last 2 stitches are exactly like this, just with each one will have 1 more strand. So again, you're going to pull until you see this new checkerboard pattern with the red, white, blue, blue, white, red. Next in our pattern, so here's what we have so far. I think I did about 7 of the last stitch, and now we're going to add our dark blue because we want it to look like the sample. And you'll do it exactly the same way by putting the dark blue directly in the middle over the light blue squares. Then you'll create your horizontal loops with these silver strands just by moving them to each to the opposite side. And the second one. And then again, we will weave in the shorter strands over and under the horizontal loops that we just created. So because that end is closer to me, I'm going to start here on the bottom right red and do the red away from me, the white towards me, over and under. The light blue is going to be away from me, over and under. And now I'm going to pick up the dark blue and again go over and under towards me. The next dark blue away from me, over and under. And again, it is the most challenging part is keeping all of this business organized, right? So next on our pattern is light blue, and I just did one away from me. Now I'm going to do the light blue going towards me. Just getting a little more organized here. Okay, so there is our light blue. So over the first, under the second. Sorry, my cords there. Okay. And then the white one that's towards me, move it away over the first, under the second. And then finally that last red. So again, you want to do, tighten it up from here until you get the new checkerboard pattern, which is red, white, light blue, dark blue, light blue, white and red. And you'll do a good 5 to 7 of these, maybe more, depending how big you're wanting your rocket to be. And you'll see the pattern forming there. All right, let's see where we're at. This is our project and our samples. I think I did about 9 stitches of the dark blue. Now we're going to add our last smaller strand, and in this case it is the silver. Just like the other times, you will put this right over the blue center stitch. So yours should look something like that. And you'll make your 2 horizontal loops because the loose tails on the left, I'm going to start there. And just like in all of the other ones, you'll do the over under, alternating between the strands that are closer to you and the strands that are on the other side of the project. For this one, your pattern will be red, white, light blue, dark blue, silver, silver, dark blue, light blue, white, red. And again, as you add the more colors, it does become more challenging to manage the project in all of the directions of the strands. So just do your best and be aware of the pattern. So if it looks funky, then you know where you need to go back and fix it. Continue making that last stitch until the project is as long as you'd like it to be. I'm going to make this one a little shorter. There are many ways that you can end this. If you know a spiral stitch or another 6-strand stitch, you can finish it with that instead of beads. This one is the easiest kind of rocket you can do because it only requires generally the brick and the box and the super brick stitch. So here I separated out the strands into 2 groups, putting one into a large silver bead, gathering the strands and tying an overhand knot. And you could put the knot as close or far away from the bead as you prefer. Do the same with the other group of strands. And I do like to trim them because it does make it a little bit easier to make sure that all of the strands are inside of the bead. So same thing, you'll just slide that on and make your overhand knot. after you've made your knot, if you like the way that it looks, you can be done. You can also go ahead and trim down the tails, but I kind of like the long tails here because it reminds me of the jet stream coming out of the rocket, but that's really up to you. Another option that you have is to just add some stars or other beads into the tails, just to add a little bit of fun, because this is 4th of July theme. That does make a little more sense. If you don't have these big silver beads, you can also use smaller pony beads, but you might not be able to fit all of the strands into one, so you can do what I did in the sample and kind of mix it up. Yeah, so just simply put beads wherever you'd like them and give them a tie. Thank you for watching our tutorial. If you like this video and want to see more, please be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube or visit us at scoubiclub.com. We do have a monthly craft kit subscription featuring rexlace and other plastic lacing. If you like this kind of project, you can have the supplies delivered to you once a month. Thank you for crafting with us today, and we hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.